I'm not going to show you tonight's guest just yet. I was given a piece of paper by Birgit, who prepared tonight's interview, and it's the first time I read it. And as I read it, and I've not said more than hello to my guest tonight, and that's about it so far. So I don't know a lot about what's to come. But I'm going to read you this before we show this young man. Okay? I'm going to show you exactly through the words a mental picture. And I want you to picture this person that's sitting to my right, who you won't see just yet, as I read the words that were sent to me in an email by Birgit, who's one of our only researchers. It says, this was a 20-year-old guy with an amazing testimony about growing up on a rough estate. Okay, so he's 28 years of age. Picture him. Think about the video you just saw, the why video at the beginning as well. He became a figure of fear and intimidation to everyone because of his violence. He got into dealing drugs, spent time in a prison, and eventually developed schizophrenia. Mother was a Christian. Aha. And she'd been praying. Well, something's happened. But can you picture this young man of 28? Can you picture, what do you see? Can you, if you were to do a photo fit of someone who's so intimidating that he would create fear in people as he came close to them, okay? Or even his reputation. How do you picture him? But then, can you picture someone who is Christ-like? Could you see that the photo fit might be totally different? So if you were watching Crime Watch and somebody was to describe this sort of person to you, would you be able to equate that with someone who looked like a child of God, who looked like a disciple of Jesus Christ? Well, in the next hour and a half or so, we're going to have the pleasure of meeting this young man, Rob Joy. Welcome to the program, Rob.
Hi.
I think people will get shocked. Are you sure you're the real Rob?
Yeah, I am.
How could you come from such a background as you know, that where you would cause fear and intimidation and intrepidation in people's lives because of your violence? I mean, just give us a bit of your background, Rob.
I think for me, you summed it up in reading out the email. How I've come away from it is through a praying mum, you know, and I'll get more into that later. But for me, it was I just ended up in it. I don't know, you know. I can look back over my life over the last 28 years, and I can start trying to pick out what went wrong and what was the cause of it, and you know, and these are some of the issues that I'm still dealing with in my life now. But I grew, like I say, I grew up on a really rough estate. The estate I grew up in had a really bad reputation for drink and for drugs and for violence. And for gangs, really, you know, they all came together. We all came together. You know, there was unity between us. If one person was hurt, then you know we would all go for it, sort of thing. It was a real dog eat dog world, if you like.
But yet there was unity between.
Yeah,
within the gang.
We were really tight. That was, I think, what separated us from the other gangs in the area. We were so tight. We grew up together, went to school together, we went to prison together. We done everything together. We lived in each other's houses. You know, we were so close. And I think that really formed that bond between us, you know. And I mean, the estate I grew up on wasn't the only estate. There's estates surrounding the area I live in. But a lot of them, the gangs, you know, they just, you know, if I can say it this way, they didn't really have it what we had at that time, because we were just so ruthless. We would do anything to win a fight. We would do anything to get the upper hand. We would do anything to be the top people in that area, you know, and whatever that was, whether that was selling drugs or whether that was through the violence and fear. And yeah, I just fell into that world and really started to enjoy it in a sort of a perverse way. You know, I felt this is where I belonged. You know, it was really hard for me to live any other way because it's all I knew.
So this is interesting because we see a lot today that with the gun culture, and particularly this last year, we've seen so many young children either stabbed or killed with the gun. 52, I think the number stands at already, and it seems to be every week now. But the sense of belonging, that plays a big part in this.
Yeah, definitely.
So because it seems that there is that bonding there that you speak about that you can only get in this gang.
Yeah.
What leads one, in your case, what do you think led you to want to be accepted amongst such people?
I think for me, you know, obviously I can't speak for everyone. Everyone's probably got their own reasons and their own root cause of that. For me, me and my pastors, you know, with their help, what we're realising now is it's love, lack of affirmation in the home. And not necessarily from my mum. Like I say, she was a Christian and she was doing her best. But my father was, he wasn't a Christian. He was a very angry man from his own upbringing. You know, it was just passed on from generation to generation. And although he loved me, I know he did. The way he showed it was with provision, with money, you know, with presents and things like that. But I never, you know, I can't remember having a cuddle off him. I can't remember him putting me on his knee and loving me that way and saying, look, son, I love you, I'm proud of you. So I grew up, you know, like any child does, wanting to sort of like fight for that love from their father. You know, it's so key. And as I've got a little boy now, you know, I'm really trying to learn from that. And I don't blame my dad for that. You know, like I say, it goes deeper than that, it goes further back than that. You know, he had his own problems growing up, I expect. But for me, it was that. I think, you know, it comes from that need to be affirmed, that need to be loved and to be appreciated.